Hey everybody, Tim and Julie here for the return of Adam West. When was the last time we saw Adam West? 2003. Which, I mean, was that really the return of Adam West? Because that was the return of the Batcave. Realistically, Adam West has not donned the cape and cowl since like 1979. So, this movie, we are here for Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders 2016, an animated movie. So I'm gonna take a quick sidestep. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. Big Doctor Who fan. So for Doctor Who, the first two Doctors each had 3 seasons apiece, so 6 seasons. There are 97 episodes missing for Doctor Who. And so with those, because back in the 60s, BBC would just, after they filmed it, they would air it and then they would erase it. And so those episodes are missing. And so those 97 episodes, they have since started animating, because all of the audio is intact, just the film is missing. And so they've since started releasing animated features with the original audio to kind of make up for the missing video. That being said, this movie has come out because at the time Adam West and Burt Ward, Adam West was still alive, but Burt Ward, they were like, obviously Adam West is too old to be doing Batman movies. Why don't we start doing animated adventures? You can kind of tell in this movie. This is a good movie. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this movie. But listening to Adam West, listening to Burt Ward, listening to Julie Newmar, but compared to the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, they've aged. They've aged a little bit.
Very.
Even though it's all animated, just listening to their voice.
Especially Adam West. He was old.
Mm-hmm.
Burt Ward wasn't too bad. Julie Newmar wasn't too bad. But Adam West,
I mean, it was great to hear him, because you can tell that it's Adam West.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're like, oh, it's like listening to your grandpa talk.
Yes.
And so, like I said, listening to the Doctor Who, at least you can visually see those, even though you can't see the originals, you can see those, still you can hear those stories, even though it's new types of animation,
right,
is the connection I'm trying to make. I don't know if I'm doing it successfully. But I love hearing Adam West. I love hearing Burt Ward. I love hearing Julie Newmar. And I love seeing a new adventure. But you're like, oh, they are old.
They are old.
They are old.
Whoa, how old would he? Because we watched him, in 60?
The first, it debuted in 66, and this came out in 2016.
Yeah. 50.
So this would have been 60 years after it debuted.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he it's old at this point. But at the same time, I think this movie did a really good job of capturing that spirit.
Right.
Some of the, and at the same time updating it. So for example, a few things that happened when Batman gets hit and he sees 3 different cat women, and it's Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and the other one from season 3.
Right.
And you're like, oh, look at that. It's all 3 of them together. Yeah. At one point, after he's had the catnip from Catwoman, he says the line, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Which is the line that Michael Keaton says in the Tim Burton Batman movie. So we get that. And then towards the end, when Catwoman's like, let's just run away to Europe and drink tea in a cafe together. Mm-hmm. That's a reference to the Dark Knight Rises, when Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway run away together. And even in that movie, you don't know, is that Alfred having a vision, because you don't know if he's dead or not.
Right.
So, I mean, they've referenced the original series, they've referenced Michael Keaton, they've referenced Christian Bale. Like, they reference all sorts of things, but also keep the spirit of Adam West at the same time.
Yeah, but then when he was under Catwoman's spell, and when he was mean, I didn't care for him then.
Right.
That wasn't when he was being mean to Aunt Harriet and everybody. Yeah, that wasn't nice.
Which is a good point. We also see Aunt Harriet and Chief O'Hare in this movie that we haven't seen since the 60s.
Right.
So that's a good point. And then did he make a Dark Knight Rises reference or a Dark Knight Returns reference with this is an operating table? I want to say there was a reference to that.
I think
This is an operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So, like, and I mean, that's a reference to the 80s, which we've since then seen the 2-part movie, the animated movie. But, so, I mean, I think this is a great movie of an adaptation of the 60s, but it also makes good references to the others. And then we see King Tut, we see the 60s version of the Mad Hatter.
Dr. Freeze.
Yeah, we see Mr. Freeze and Egghead. Egghead. Yeah. Like, this movie does a really good job of just, like, reincorporating all of these characters. Yes. So, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. I don't know. It makes me sad to think that Adam West has since passed away, and there's not much. There's rumors that there is a lot more that Adam West has recorded, but who knows? But this is the first. There are 2 animated movies. We'll do the second one next, but for the first animated movie, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it had its sad points.
But it's sad in like a hindsight sort of way to see, like, oh, this is the end. Yeah. But I do love hearing like you said, Aunt Harriet, which they make. I don't know how to say this. They make a lot of gay jokes.
Yes, they did. Yes,
surprisingly, like. And that's the thing, that is an actual thing. Like, if you look at the history of Batman and the creation of characters, like the reason they created Batgirl and Batwoman, Kate Kane, and stuff like that, was because so many people thought that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson were in a relationship together. And in this movie, Aunt Harriet she never explicitly says it, but she's very like, oh, they need to take a retreat together.
Yeah.
They make a lot of gay jokes in this. And I was like, wow, like they just announce it just like that. But it was fun. It was tongue in cheek, I guess, is how you would say it. So for you, I don't know, what do you think? I've talked a lot.
I liked it. When he was under her Catwoman's,
the catnip,
and he took over this Gotham and kicked out Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara, and then went to the courts and got rid of the judges and turned him in, because he made multiple copies of himself. Yeah. The
Batman.
Yeah. That was, and then there was a lot of them,
which is again a reference to the original series, because there was that one episode where there's like a bunch of, it was a Mr. Freeze episode where there's like 6 different Batmen.
But then they were all taking over the town, and then when Catwoman and Robin came and realized what was going on, and Batman, or Robin hitting Batman and at that time you didn't know which one was the Batman, the real one. And then when they finally got him back to remembering who he was. Yeah, it was nice.
So my question for you: so obviously it's Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin. Did Julie Newmar voicing Catwoman distract you, or did it not bother
It
you,
did
or
bother me because that's who I think of.
as Catwoman? Okay,
Catwoman.
because like I said, like I love hearing Adam West and Burt Ward. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but like you said, like when as soon as Adam West speaks, you're like, oh, he has that like grandpa voice where you're like, oh, he's a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the animation is him at the same age,
Right.
you can tell he's a little older. For when Catwoman spoke, you're like, oh, she's a little older. But when Joker, Penguin, and Riddler, which I love, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman, it's the same group as the movie
Right.
from '66. You're like, clearly Catwoman is an older voice than the others.
Mm-hmm.
But still, at the same time, like just hearing Julie Newmar, I'm like, oh, it's
Yes.
so great. Like
Yes.
you're like, oh, that's her. That's the original.
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments for Return of the Cape Crusader?
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know. I want to say something about Chief O'Hare, but he didn't. Like he was in it, which was great, but it didn't really do anything.
No.
And then I don't know. I feel like is there anything else? There's King Tut and Mr. Freeze and all that. But I don't know. It's just a fun adventure.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Okay. So for those who have seen this, like I said, 2016, fairly recent. For those who have seen it, what do you guys think about this movie and the return of Adam West after at least a minimum of 2003? Live action 1979, animation 1972, the actual series 1969.
66.
I think that's when it came out. Was when it started. 66, 67, 68. 68 is when I want to say the third series came out. So I mean, Adam West has been doing it for a minute, for a long time. So for those, I'm curious for those who, like me, did not grow up with Adam West, who have only like gone back and looked at it. What did you think about this movie? I look at this movie as it's kind of fun. So I have seen this movie before, and the first time I saw it, I was like, this is something else. Like I don't know what this is, but it's interesting. But since we've been watching the actual Adam West series, like there's a lot of shout outs. Like it's actually really well done. It's a good tribute. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. It's a good tribute to the Adam West series. I think it does justice to that series. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not something to be ashamed of. I feel like, I mean, Burt Ward's still alive, but I feel like Adam West and Burt Ward did have a good time.
Yes, they did.
Like, I feel like they got together and they were like, dude, let's make an animated movie. And they just had fun. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a good movie. It's a fun time. So I had fun watching it. I've seen it before. And there is a sequel to it. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think about it? My quick question for you before we end this video. Knowing the Adam West episodes and knowing more about Batman, because you've seen a lot more Batman since then, what is a villain you would like to see the Adam West version of that you have not seen before? Does that make sense?
Adam West playing a villain?
Or fighting that version. I could give examples, but I don't want to skew your answer.
I don't know.
Because you've seen the Adam West version of like the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin. Mm-hmm. Like, who would you like to see him fight? If you could go back and like make another season of Adam West. Which I'm surprised Batgirl's not in this.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
I don't know. Probably because I'm a Joker
Oh
fan.
no, we've seen the Joker.
I know, but I don't know who.
I
There's so many of them.
know. So, for example, I'll go ahead
Give
and
me
ski
some.
it. So we have not seen the Adam West version of like Poison Ivy or Clayface or Bane,
Probably.
or there's there is a lot.
I would say Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those who have seen this video, this movie, Return of the Caped Crusaders, I'm not going to address that one way or the other because I don't want to spoil anything. For those who have seen this video, go ahead and let us know what you think of seeing all sorts of stuff, all sorts of cameos, all sorts of stuff. Aunt Harriet, Chief O'Hare, all three Catwomen, everything. I don't even know. Go ahead, let us know what you think, and we will see you guys next time for the sequel. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to keep it a secret. We'll see you guys next time.